now. You didn't do the bass this time.
Huh?
You didn't do the bass this time.
I didn't. I was feeling my tenor fantasy today.
Your tenor fantasy. You did amazing.
Yeah.
You're so delightful.
Thank you.
Never change.
That's so sweet.
You should be in a choir.
I am. I'm in choir right now.
Uh-huh.
I didn't tell you I was in choir?
No.
I'm lying. I'm not in choir.
Logan's a filthy liar. I could tell from moment one that you're a filthy liar.
I love to lie. Just a little bit.
That makes a lot of sense.
A little bit.
That makes a lot of sense.
You're one of the only people that can tell when I'm lying.
I don't know how people can. I feel like you're very upfront about it. The thing is, I feel like you can tell if I'm lying too because I also get like a little too giddy about it.
Yeah. You and I get a little grin and we're just like...
It's like, you know I'm lying. Like,
Yeah.
let me think of something. I feel like I can do this pretty good. The other day I went to the store and I stole a few calendars, but it's only because I needed it 'cause it's the new year, you know?
Yeah.
See, that's pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you probably
right?
believed
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty
you
good.
probably
It's
believed
pretty
it.
genuine, yeah.
I try.
It's really fun, honestly.
Just manipulate people.
I just love... yeah, no, exactly. It's like, it's kind of fun, like, that inner satire I have with myself. I'm like...
It's pretty outer, too. I don't know. It's not just exclusive to the inside.
My whole life is a joke, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, it is. Like, it's a running joke at all times.
You're just a comedian, and you can't help it. You are a comedy.
Yeah.
You're healing the world with comedy.
It's what... Thank you.
Bo Burnham.
Huh?
Healing the world with comedy.
I don't know who that is.
You're lying. You're actually lying. The thing is, when you lie, you literally go, I don't know who that is. And your eyes get so big. And I'm like, Logan, you're giving yourself away by making your eyes so big.
You can't tell our listeners how they lie.
Well, look in the camera and say that again. You want, I don't know who that is.
Because the next time I go on a date, if I'm lying, I'm like, yeah, your outfit's great.
The thing is, well, then you know that they're a genuine listener. You know they listen. Also, if they can't tell that you're lying, they're the issue.
Good
right?
point. Yeah.
Right?
That's what I need. I need a partner that knows when I'm lying.
Yeah.
You know?
Like just know.
Like, if I'm saying we're breaking up, you know, it's like, is it a joke or is it not? You know?
Are we haunted?
Huh?
Logan, did you literally see that? This isn't me joking. That book just fell off that shelf.
It did.
I'm gonna throw up for
what
those.
Book is it?
It's Charlie Brown. I'm scared. Did you see that? Well, you didn't see it. I saw it. It was up on the mantle. This cute little Charlie Brown Valentine's Day book. Just fell off the mantle, no warning, nothing knocked it down. That's cute. That's fun.
Maybe the ghost is... the yokai!
Logan, shut up. Shut up.
Stop, how old is that book? Shut up, how old is that book? Tiffany, how old is that book?
I'm stepping out of frame.
How old is that book? So I guess circling back, everybody, to last week, we covered the yokai. And one of the big bits from it was that we, you know, some of them, when they reach 100 years old, they come to life.
Logan.
What? Tiffany, what?
This isn't a...
Tiffany.
Okay, this isn't about the year, but the person... I'm gonna give this person's name away who had this book last. Their last name is Lazarus.
Okay.
Lazarus came back to life.
What?
Their name is...
Is there no date on it?
No, there's just a name written in pencil. Scott Lazarus.
Oh my god.
Is Lazarus not the one who came back to life?
Yes, it is. You're so right. It is.
But that's weird. You were literally like, oh, like things coming to life.
Honestly?
And this thing fell off the bookshelf.
The last time we were here, you were talking about how you wanted your house to be haunted, so that's on you.
None of that was planned, but I'm actually afraid now. Okay.
Honestly, that's kind of fun. What a fun segue. Yeah, so last week we talked about the yokai, and this week we're back with Tiffany. I really loved the yokai episode. It was super fun.
Sorry, I'm researching Lazarus as we speak, so I was afraid.
You're so fine. I was gonna tell you,
What?
Someone swiped up on my story. A person who has an interest in me, right? And they were like, "Oh my god, like the yokai, like that's so cool, like Japanese, like folklore." And I was talking a little bit about it, and he was like, "Yeah, this is my not the thunder
not the
starting
thunder.
too.
This is a scary start. This is actually scary, but I kind of like it.
Horrifying episode.
Welcome all over the place to the scary episode. Anyway,
I'm gonna ignore the ominous Among Us.
Anonymous.
He was like, oh yeah, and he started mentioning all these like great things of like literature and like TV shows about the yokai and stuff. He was like, yeah, I used to watch this one show, and it was like some fancy wording, like just some very like high quality television.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that's really cool. I talked about Yokai Watch.
No. No.
He did not respond.
Stop, but he knew it.
He read it. He left me on read when I said I mentioned yokai war.
Okay. It sounds like, well, I don't want to say what I want to say on this, because if this person listens, I feel, is this person going to listen, do you think?
I don't think so.
So I can definitely, like, say something a little snarky.
No.
What does that mean? If they can't accept your fun taste in media, they're the problem. Sorry, Mr. Person who messaged Logan, who doesn't like Yokai Watch. Maybe your stuff is wrong. Maybe you're just a stupid film boy. Who thinks their taste is better? I don't
think they're a film.
They can have film boy energy and not be a film boy. If they can't appreciate the art that is Yokai Watch that I definitely still haven't watched, I don't think they have real taste.
No, but we did. What? It's the same one from last week. It was the same person. The one I didn't go on the date with after the show.
Everything is feeling weird tonight. All the weird connections to things, all the weird, the weather outside, the book falling, the Lazarus, the yokai, all of it's freaking me out.
What if he, like, shows up? Like, what if he knocks at the door and it's just like, hey, I heard you talking about me on your show, and the episode's not even out yet?
Then I'll throw up. I'll simply throw up.
Oh,
there's a lightning outside.
I just saw lightning crash. That's so cute.
Wait for thunder. See how close it is.
Is this week's episode spooky?
It's spooky. It's not, like, paranormal spooky, though, for once.
Okay.
This is more true crime. This is something we've literally been talking about. And,
really?
Like, actually talking about. We bring it up vaguely in different episodes, and we're like, why the heck have we not done that so many times? And today, it's here.
Okay, well, I think we got a pretty good cold opening already. We told, like, 4 stories. I think we're ready to get into this week's case, yeah?
Alrighty.
All right, ready?
Drum roll me, yes. This week on The Mystery Files, we present the case of the disappearance of Amelia Earhart.
You're joking. We've never talked about it?
No, we talked about her vaguely in the episode about,
Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle episode.
Yeah, that was my episode.
This one's all about her. For once.
Oh my god. What made you just... Wait. Thunderstorm? Didn't she go down in a thunderstorm, supposedly?
That's one of the theories, yes.
Oh.
But that was not planned. This is something I've been thinking about for like 2 weeks. Because I have a list of things and I'm like, one day I'll do that. When I'm not like looking for stuff. But the thing is, I was also thinking about... Well, I'm not going to get into it yet. I don't want to spoil why I chose this case, because you'll understand.
I don't have a list of any of the cases we do. I just kind of...
Oh, they're not cases we do. It's cases I want to do.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't have a list of
neither.
Any of that. I have neither.
I feel like I should make a nice list for us.
I already have a list of all the cases we've done, if you want it.
Did you just... Roll the tape. You said both. I don't keep a list of the episodes we've done, nor do I keep a list of the things I want to do. Roll back the tape because you said that. You literally just said that, you rat. You got issues tonight.
I told you I'm a liar. You didn't catch me in a lie.
Your eyes did get big. But I thought you were just being ridiculous that time.
To be honest, I was only half listening. That's the
about
fun of ADHD.
Right. That's about right. You're not the one giving the case this week, so you can kind of not be on it. You know? This is not about you.
Okay. Well, I'm ready. I'm going to get nice and
Let's get into that intro. So, if it's not raining where you are, put on some nice rain sounds in the background, maybe. Imagine the pitter-patter on your window in the evening. And let's get into the intro.
There's some great YouTube videos.
Like ours. Okay. On July 2nd, 1937, the Lockheed aircraft carrying American aviator Amelia Earhart and navigator Frederick Noonan is reported missing near Howland Island in the Pacific. The pair were attempting to fly around the world when they lost their bearings during the most challenging leg of the global journey. Lay, New Guinea, to Howland Island, a tiny island 2,227 nautical miles away in the center of the Pacific Ocean. The U.S. Coast Guard officer, Itasca, was in sporadic radio contact with Earhart as she approached Howland Island and received messages that she was lost and running low on fuel. Soon after, she probably tried to ditch the lockhead in the ocean. No trace of Earhart or Noonan was ever found. So that's like our little intro. Obviously, those who know about Miss Earhart know the kind of this story, but I don't. Yeah. For some reason, I didn't realize she was with someone else.
I think I knew that she was with someone else. Noonan's a guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot.
I knew about that.
Frederick, is that his name? Frederick Noonan. Yeah, Frederick Noonan.
When I've heard about this case before, like just pop culture stuff and what I've seen, I think I remember that. Like there was like a guy with her too. I was trying to think of the word for male pilot, but I
Casual
guess it's just
pilot.
Male pilot or man pilot.
Or
man.
just pilot. Huh. Pilot can be gender neutral. Right?
No.
It's not like stewardess. Stewardess and pilot, because women can only be stewardess. According to...
Well, no, I was going to say Amelia Earhart was a pilot.
She was the pilot.
Yeah. Like, she's a pilot.
She's not what a pilot should be.
Yeah.
She was the first. She was the first female pilot to travel this distance, by the way.
Trailblazed it. She actually took it away from all men, and now only women are associated with pilot.
Yeah, men actually suck. Wow. Amelia Earhart taught that in school, in elementary school. So I learned Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into it more though. Amelia Earhart was born in Atchison, Kansas in 1897. She took up aviation at the age of 24. Okay.
We can take it up right now.
We can literally change our career
path.
Shut up. Stop. Me flying a plane.
We both can't drive.
We can't even drive cars. How are we going to fly a plane?
Do they have signs in, like, the sky? Like, will I know? Well, honestly, it might not be that hard, right? Like, honestly, it's, like, free reign.
It might be a little less stressful because you don't have to deal with everyone else, like, in the sky. Like, there's a couple other planes, but, like, I can definitely avoid another plane in the sky. I can't avoid another car coming towards me.
Exactly. You know, like, we don't have any flying cars or anything either. Yeah. What, you hit a few pigeons? Great.
Oh, darn. You also, know? Like...
Honestly, we might be good pilots.
We'd be better, like, we'd be way better at flying a plane than we would be driving a car, because like there's so many like old people that are like literally 102 shouldn't have a license anymore, and they're like, oh, I can't see over the steering wheel. Crash. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
But they're not letting some 102-year-old granny fly in the sky.
Right.
So we'd be great.
Honestly,
nothing to worry about up there. The landing might be a little tricky.
Well, we could just do like an emergency brake, right? Don't all like planes have like an emergency brake or something like that?
You just fall out of the sky. What do you mean? Emergency turn off? That would be what happened. No, that would literally suck. And honestly, we can just have someone else who can be in charge of like the lift off and the landings. That's the most dangerous part of a plane ride.
You and I just fly in the piloting, and there's a third person that just takes off and lands.
Does the important stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just fly around in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. We just play around.
Also, I suck at directions, so good luck getting to your destination, folks.
Well, there's nothing to direct. You just go straight.
But you have to be going somewhere.
Yeah, you just go straight.
I don't know how to follow a compass. I don't know how I think I'm going to fly a plane.
Like, go slightly right, slightly left, keep going straight, easy.
Compasses don't make sense to me, though.
Huh?
If I'm following a compass to go straight in one direction, I feel like the compass keeps moving, so I don't understand it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, use a compass when you're lost in the woods. I don't know what direction that's trying to show me.
Yeah, how do I know where to get
North
back?
keeps moving. I literally don't know. So we're not going to be flyers.
Well, at the age of 24. I don't understand it.
What is north?
Yeah.
The sky?
Where are we right now? I guess west.
And I don't know. I can't tell you where you live in comparison to me. Everyone's like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, oh, that town. They're like, where's that in comparison? I'm like, I don't know, a couple miles.
God,
an hour.
I think we'd be fine. Honestly, we could just like improvise it.
At the age of 24, she had it all together. She later gained publicity as one of the earliest female aviators, as we've talked about. In 1928, the publisher George P. Putnam suggested Earhart become the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. So the previous year, Charles A. Lindbergh had flown solo nonstop across the Atlantic, and Putnam had made a fortune off Lindbergh's autobiographical book called We. So this guy wrote a book about his journey. We. In June 1928, Earhart and two men flew from Newfoundland, Canada, to Wales, Great Britain. Although Earhart's only function during the crossing was to keep the plane's log, the flight won her great fame, and Americans were enamored of the daring young pilot. So she did start getting experience, and like her first like big thing was this flight, and her only thing was to like keep the plane's log. Can you imagine like that being your first claim to fame though? Like she just was on this plane and it's like, oh yeah, she kept logs. She kept like plane logs on that plane, and now I guess she's good to fly a plane.
Yeah.
After this.
I mean, I think it's honestly just like a lot of internalized misogyny stuff too. They're like, a woman doing tasks.
She can do those fun assistant type jobs, right? Yeah. My little assistant, my secretary.
They're like, what?
She's the secretary of the sky, that Earhart. Secretary
honestly,
of the sky.
She probably like learned a lot about like the planes though, like from that even too. Like just you know, I don't know. I don't drive, but like I feel like as soon as I get behind the wheel, I might slay at it because I've seen like so many people drive. Like I've been passenger princess so many times. Yeah. That, like, I know where the turn is. I know, like, I'll get mad. Like, I'll be people like, I can't believe that person just cut you off. Like,
no, like, Logan, you can't even drive. What are you saying?
But that's why I think it'd be good, though. Because I'm kind of like her.
Or you have a good sense of judgment.
Exactly.
And by good sense of judgment, I mean you're judgmental.
I have a good intuition. Like, I wouldn't get lost over the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah,
like a dummy.
I would. like an idiot would. An idiot.
If it were me,
lost.
No,
you would be dead. You'd be deceased in the ocean. That's where you would be.
I'd be plane. What is that? Plane 29 down.
Flight
29 down. That's the show.
That was your fun little kid show, right? You watched when you were youngin'.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miss Earhart obviously kept these plane logs and won her fame. So these 3 people were honored with a ticker tape parade. I don't know what a ticker tape parade in New York was. And a, quote, Lady Lindy, as Earhart was dubbed, and was given a White House reception by I cannot speak. A White House reception by President Calvin Coolidge. So I feel like these are things I don't know that even exist anymore, because I don't even know what these are.
Yeah.
Back from 1938, they're like these really crazy nice things. I'm like, I haven't heard of any of these.
What is it called? A Tigger?
The first thing was called a ticker tape parade in New York, and a Lady Lindy, where Earhart was dubbed and given a White House reception by President Calvin Coolidge.
I don't know for sure. Maybe we should, like, do, like, a little Google on that. But I think that just sounds like one of those things, like, when you're celebrated, like, for being, like, a hero. Like, you know, you're just sat there on, like, a Corvette. And you just, like, are walking down and people are, like, throwing, like, confetti and things at you and, like, celebrating you. It sounds like something like that. How, like, towns used to celebrate small-town heroes and things.
See, that makes sense. I looked up Lady Lindy, and I got nothing except Amelia Earhart's face. So I don't know what that means. Wait, why was Amelia Earhart called Lady Lindy? Who was Lady Lindy? Amelia Earhart earned the title because of a record-breaking career. It sounds like just an award.
It's just a name.
Or they just called her that for whatever.
What's the other one, the party?
The other one, the ticker tape parade.
I don't know if I'm right. Did she cut a ribbon somewhere? Like it's tape? You cut the tape?
Oh, maybe at the White House? Maybe?
Amelia Earhart opened the White House.
She actually... No, she went to the White House, it said, but it might have been a different sentence. Okay, a ticker tape parade is an event held in an urban setting, so you're on the right thing.
Okay.
Characterized by large amounts of shredded paper thrown. Logan, you're so smart. Not that I didn't think you were smart, but, like, that's so specific.
Should be an historian.
You know, that makes a lot of... creating a celebratory flurry of paper. So you were right. You were really on it.
I was on the money.
Oh my gosh, you deserve an award. Perhaps a ticker tape parade. if we're bold enough to say. If we're bold enough to make a little thing for you. So Earhart also wrote a book about the flight for Putnam, whom she also married in 1931 and gave lectures and continued her flying career under her maiden name. The lights are flickering. We're actually going to be deceased by the end of the episode. So, why it got so quiet? I'm scared.
It did.
On May 20th, 1932, she took off alone from Newfoundland in a Lockheed Vega on the first solo nonstop transatlantic flight by a woman. She was bound for Paris but was blown off course and landed in Ireland on May 21st and flying more than 2,000 miles in just under 15 hours. That's very quick, as far as I know.
It's wild to me that, like, the wind can just slightly take you to, like, a completely different, like, country or area. That's so crazy.
It's like, oops, now we're all the way across the world.
Oh, no, now I'm in Australia.
Oh, no, now I'm in Paris. Oui.
Oui.
Oui, oui. Je m'appelle. It was the 5th anniversary of Lindbergh's historic flight, and before Earhart, no one had attempted to repeat his solo transatlantic flight. For her achievement, she was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross by Congress. 3 months later, Earhart became the first woman to fly solo nonstop across the continental United States. So in 1935, in the first flight of its kind, she flew solo from Wheeler Field in Honolulu to Oakland, California, winning a $10,000 award posted by Hawaiian Commercial Interests. Later that year, she was appointed a consultant in careers for women at Purdue University, and the school bought her a modern Lockheed Electra aircraft to be used as a flying laboratory. They literally bought her a plane!
Not just a plane, a laboratory,
too. Laboratory. That's
crazy.
That's so sweet. Oh my god.
What?
Go Purdue and Lockheed Electra. That's amazing.
That's so wild. And what was it, the university paid for it?
Yeah, Purdue.
That is wild.
She was appointed a consultant in careers for women at Purdue University, and the school bought her the aircraft.
Imagine all those kids who, like, paid all that tuition, like, looking that they got her that plane.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, the kids that go to Purdue now, I feel like Purdue is definitely still open. I see, like, ads for them all the time for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But I wonder, like, if they have, like, certain classrooms that are named after Amelia Earhart. Or, like...
I was wondering that, too,
like, different courses that are, like, specifically on her and her disappearance. Yeah. How cool would that be?
That would be. I think they probably do. Like, they have to have something there.
If you go to Purdue, know anyone at Purdue, let us know the tea. Yeah. Because I'm intrigued.
Yeah, let us know.
They bought her a nice little plane thing. So on March 17th, 1937, she took off from Oakland and flew west on an around-the-world attempt. It would not be the first global flight, but it would be the longest, 29,000 miles, following an equatorial route. Accompanying Earhart in the Lockheed was Frederick Noonan, her navigator and a former Pan American pilot. So, like, this guy's got experience, too. And, like, good thing he's a navigator. After resting and refueling in Honolulu, the trio prepared to resume the flight. However, while taking off for Howland Island, Earhart ground-looped the plane on the runway, perhaps because of a blown tire, and the Lockheed was seriously damaged. The flight was called off, and the aircraft was shipped back to California for repairs. So they had planned on leaving this island, and something happened to the tire, plane got damaged, and aircraft was shipped back to California for repairs. So, like, this is what we're learning so far.
How did they ship it back? Did another plane pick up the plane? Did it get on a boat? And
maybe, like, a big ferry. I don't know how
it would have to be a ferry, right? Could you imagine they put it, like, the plane... Like...
It's like when they pick up whales in the water with, like, a plane, and it's, like, a huge, big, like, net scooper thing that holds part of the whale, but it's just the plane.
You know how, like, cute. You put your Christmas tree on top of a car in, like, cartoons? Like, you put the plane on top of another plane.
I'm just imagining a helicopter trying to stay balanced the entire time, and it's just, like, wavering because it can't stay balanced because it's a huge plane on top of a helicopter. That'll work to ship it. And then the people fall.
Oh, my gosh.
It's pure chaos.
Honestly, kind of chilling at an island, though, while waiting for a ship to repair is kind of fun. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know how much there was to do there, but, like, I mean, you were not there, but, like, it was probably beautiful. I was in
Honolulu for a hot second, but
Wait, were they in Honolulu there?
Yeah. They were refueling in Honolulu. I wanted to know where in Honolulu, because I wondered if I was close. Because I also hiked up, like, Diamond Head, and that had, like, old, like, World War II lookouts and things, and you could see, like, where... I don't know, there were a bunch of, like, fun historical stuff there, so I wonder what the tea was, where they were at on the island.
I just feel like that'd be, like a nice, relaxing spot, like, while waiting for the ship to repair. But I can also see how it's, like, frustrating, because it's like, oh, I'm stuck here, like, what? Not even, like, another week? It was probably months, right? Because, like, you gotta get it back, repair it, then ship it back? That's...
Well, maybe they got off the island with whoever took the plane. I have no idea.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because they were there. But
still, I'd be like, oh my gosh.
That's a hot mess. I guess in May, Earhart flew the newly rebuilt plane to Miami. So eventually they got off the island, and then she flew the newly built plane to Miami, from where Noonan and she would make a new around-the-world attempt. So this is their second attempt, this time from west to east. They left Miami on June 1st, and after stops in South America, Africa, India, and Southwest Asia, they arrived at Le Nugana on June 29th. So that's literally... still in June, about 22,000 miles of the journey had been completed, and the last 7,000 miles would be all over the Pacific Ocean. The next destination was Howland Island, a tiny U.S.-owned island that was just a few miles long. The U.S. Department of Commerce had a weather observation station and a landing strip on the island, and the staff was ready with fuel and supplies. Several U.S. ships, including the Coast Guard, Cutter Itasca, were deployed to aid Earhart and Noonan in this difficult leg of their journey. So they had everyone prepared for them to land at this fun little island here, all the supplies.
Wow.
On their last, like, leg of the trip. Yeah. So as the Lockheed approached Howland Island, Earhart radioed the Itasca and explained that she was low on fuel. However, after several hours of frustrating attempts, two-way communication was only briefly established. So there's already all these issues. She's running out of fuel, and now their communication is, like, very limited, and she's having issues communicating with the people at the base. Yeah. And the Itasca was unable to pinpoint the Lockheed's location or other navigational information. Earhart circled the Itasca's position, but was unable to sight the ship, which was sending out miles of black smoke. She radioed 1/2 hour fuel and no landfall, quote, and later tried to give information on her position. soon after contact was lost, and Earhart presumably tried to land the Lockheed on the water. So there's all these different things happening. She attempted to land it on the water. There's always issues with radioing back and forth. They're not hearing the right things from her.
So this is before the disappearance was, like, starting, right?
This is, like, I think this is as it's happening.
Like, as it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I think it's very interesting that they had a hard time, like, tracking it, especially, like, if it was a newly, like, refurbished, like, plane.
Well, they rebuilt it, so, like, you would think it would be very, like...
Yeah.
It's so fresh. Why are they having issues?
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away because I know we were talking about it before the show, but with the show Yellow Jackets.
I wanted so bad to talk to you about it when you guys were talking about it, but I'm like, I gotta keep my mouth shut because I'm going to accidentally talk about it. Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. I highly recommend Yellow Jackets if you would like to watch it. But I think it was just, like, curious because, like, there's, like, a GPS tracking device, and I guess, like, all planes, which I didn't know. Like, all planes have, like, a safety, like... GPS thing, so if a plane ever, like, crashes, they can find it, and it's supposed to be, like, extremely durable, like, to be able to, like, find. So I think it's just, like, really weird that, like, they had a hard time with it. So it sounds like they maybe, like, when they made the new plane, like, refurbished it for her.
Yeah.
Maybe there were some oversights in, like, the full mechanics of that plane, which is extremely dangerous. But, like, I mean, it's possible it could be no one's fault and it was, like, a malfunction. But I could also see, like, if they were in a hurry, it being a quicker job. But it would need to be an efficient plane if they're trying to go around the world.
Yeah, and you would think especially for that they would have more, like, a better GPS tracking system. But it also, it's hard to say because I'm not... quite sure of what the mechanics of planes looked like back in, like, 1938, I think was the timing of this. So it's hard to say, like, what...
That's a good point.
...technology they had at their... I don't know.
Yellow Jackets takes place in the 90s. I don't actually know how long GPSs have been on planes.
But, like, something... I mean, but if they're able to normally track positions of planes and stuff, it's strange that they were losing track of her.
You couldn't have, like, a backup... Like, I'm just surprised there wasn't a backup for a backup for a backup. I'm sure planes now do. I'm sure planes now probably have backups for backups on a backup. Like...
But I feel like a lot of this is just weird. It's weird that not only did they lose navigation and, like, all that stuff with her, but also they were having all these issues, like, communicating with the plane in the first place, like, through radio. So it was, like, a bunch of different things adding up to, like, it's impossible to
and then the smoke started, too. I was also going to say, when you were talking about how, like, they had to go over 3,000, like, miles over, like, the ocean... I would have a panic attack.
Oh my gosh, if all you saw was water.
Yeah, no, I know we were talking a big game earlier, but, like, if I had to just stare at, like, full blue and nothing, I'd freak out. I went to Michigan and there was no mountains or anything, and it was all flat, and I had almost a panic attack. I was like, where is...
You're like, there's too much.
Where is the sky?
Where... above you.
But it's not the sky. If I don't see a mountain peak, that's not the sky.
That's not the real one.
Oh my god.
No,
and their buildings are, like, short, too. I would have a panic attack if I didn't see anything.
If it was too flat. Also,
absolutely not.
Being in the middle of water is scary, because I know when I did fly to Hawaii, it was, like, a very long trip. Like, it was, like, 10 hours and then 12 hours for the other trip. But when I would look at... There's, like, a little screen to track the plane's progress on your trips. You can, like, see, like, oh, there's all this water. So you just see us leaving the land, and then there's all this blue until we got to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I didn't sit by the window, because I probably would have been freaked out looking at the water. Like, the only time I looked at the water was right as we got near the islands, because I wanted to see if I could see the volcano at the big island erupting. But I couldn't see it from my window.
Dang.
But yeah, looking at the water would be scary, and the fact that she literally was like, oh, we have 1/2 hour of fuel left and no landfall. Like, she couldn't see any land, so, like, she's in the middle of nowhere.
She said that she was going to try to land in the water, right? That's what, like, she was trying to say?
I think this is what she said, quote, she radioed 1/2 hour fuel and no landfall. So she's saying, hey, we're running out of fuel, and we don't see any land.
Oh.
So, and then soon after, like, contact was lost, and Earhart presumably tried to land the Lockheed in the water. So people think that she tried to land it in the water.
She tried to land it in the water, but landing in the water is really hard.
Yeah. So then it goes on to say, like, if her landing on the water was perfect, Earhart and Noonan might have had time to escape the aircraft with a life raft and survival equipment before it sank. So there are, like, options if they were able to do that. So an intensive search of the vicinity by the Coast Guard and the U.S. Navy ended up finding no physical evidence of the flyers or their planes. So, like, they didn't find Amelia Earhart and Noonan or their plane in the area they were supposed to have landed if they were to have crashed in the water, or like tried to land in the water.
Whoa, yeah, so they most certainly did not.
Yeah, it's like, well, where were they?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of excited we're doing this case because I feel like I definitely knew a little bit about Amelia Earhart, but like not as much. Like this kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, this is why it's so weird.
This is why the Bermuda Triangle is like a theory too.
Yeah.
Like, because like it's weird that it just like was in thin air.
Yeah, like, it's like she just disappeared. Like genuinely, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Like where the heck did she go? And like this makes it even creepier because like for other disappearance cases, it's like it could obviously be just like really sketchy people in the world, like doing really messed up stuff, but something like this does have such a supernatural and strange element to it, because it's like, well, what happened? Like, they genuinely just, like, whoosh,
well, I'm not sure if it's, like, one of the theories or not, but, like, the whole, like, refurbishing of the plane thing, it's, like, has that been a theory before, that someone was trying to set it up for them to go down? Like, similar to how, this is reminding me of the Titanic as well, because what if it's something like that? But, like, I have no idea. That's just so weird.
Like, I don't know if that was a theory I'd seen.
The other thing I was going to say, too, is, like, I don't know, like, this might be a more, like, logical explanation, too, but, like, if they were having a hard time, like, GPSing and, like, finding their coordinates, or, like, what they were saying, is it possible they just, like, had way too big of a range to look for it sometimes? Like, I'm sure maybe they tried to cover, like, a lot of it, but the ocean's also, like, huge.
Yeah, like, even
so many
if they
things
went, like, a little bit out of, like, if the wind blew them to the left, now they're, like,
I mean, she ended up in Ireland.
Yeah.
Ireland. You
love.
lassie.
You lassie love. But there's definitely so many options that could have happened here. But we're going to get into some fun theories now. There's a lot of theories for this one. So
I can imagine. Wait, how many?
I think there's 9.
Work.
9 theories. So get ready to pick your favorite. The one you think is the most. So theory number 1 was that Earhart ran out of fuel, crashed and perished in the Pacific Ocean. So, like, this is, like, the theory that, like, these people had ended up saying, like, they thought she crashed in the ocean. So this is one of the most generally accepted versions of the famous aviator's disappearance.
Yeah.
Many experts believe Amelia Earhart and navigator Fred Noonan got slightly off course en route to a refueling stop at Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean. Earhart had radioed the U.S. Coast Guard ships stationed in the area, reporting that neither she nor Noonan could spot the tiny island where they were supposed to land, and according to the so-called crash and sink theory, the plane eventually ran out of gas and plunged into the ocean, killing both Earhart and Noonan if they sank, leaving no sign of their whereabouts. So, like, people thought either they died, or or it just sank. Like, they would die either way. But.
So their theory, like, with that, too, is the whole idea that, like, because in my head I was thinking she was able to at least land it in the water, and then it just started slowly, like, sinking through. Yeah. But I could see, like, how, like, it crashing would be, like, very hard to find. Because that was my thought, too. I was like, doesn't it take a minute for a plane to, like, crash? It's like, I mean, not crash, sink. It's like tons and tons and tons and tons of weight.
The thing is, I feel like it would take a little bit for a plane to sink, but I feel like death on impact would probably be very likely if they weren't able to get into a raft or something. Yeah. Because if you think about it, like a plane smashing into water at such a speed, like you would die on impact, and then if they ended up living somehow through that, like all of the water would flood the plane, and if the doors got locked or something, there's so many different options of them just like getting stuck in the plane.
And I'm sure by the time they, like, found, like, I guess the technology to be able to even, like, just, like, look in the ocean that way, the plane is, like, probably so far down in, like, the depths, it's, like...
And the ocean's so deep.
You're done, and we barely discovered all of it, too. We think that we talk about that in Bermuda Triangle, too. Like, the ocean's so big and we know nothing about it.
But it's also so weird that they haven't found the plane or anything, so if you think about it, they were able to find the Titanic in the middle of the ocean. With the stuff they have now. Because I feel like at least they could... Well, it all depends on where exactly she would have landed. Because I feel like they had a better idea with the Titanic because there was rescues and stuff.
I feel like it also depends on how big the plane was. The Titanic was huge.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was a big boat. Big boat.
I don't know. It's big boat. So that's theory number 1. So it's hard for me to say if I believe this one or not.
Most logical,
It's the logical one, but we know how I feel about logic.
You're like, anyway, aliens.
Aliens abducted her. Theory number 2, Earhart landed safely on the Gardner Island but died before she could be rescued. So this theory, in this scenario, Earhart missed her intended Pacific Ocean refueling site, Howland Island, but spotted Gardner Island, now known as Nikamaro, an uninhabited coral atoll nearby. She landed safely but died there. before she could be rescued. This theory has gained ground in recent years due to the discovery of Nikomaro of artifacts that could be related to Earhart. So items include an empty jar of the freckle cream she preferred and a piece of plexiglass similar to that used in the Lockheed Electra plane she flew. The International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery recently launched its 7th expedition to the island to search for more clues. So... Yeah.
I heard about this one that, like, they think, like, that is, like, the most, like, that's the best theory they have right now.
Yeah, this is the best theory, and there's going to be some information we get to at the very end that's sort of a little bit of an update on this, but that's one of the theories as of now. So I'll let you know.
I don't want to spoil anything, but is it the coconut crabs?
No. That might be deeper in this episode, though, because I have a bunch of theories, but... That's not the update I'm referring to.
There's a theory, I think, at least with, like, that island or something, that, like, there's a lot of coconut crabs. So one of the newer theories is that she was ate by a bunch of coconut crabs.
I don't think that's any of these theories, but that's horrifying.
There's, like, memes on it on, like, Twitter and stuff.
Do they eat people?
I think so. Like, they can.
I need to look up their faces.
There's this meme.
Coconut.
There's this meme, and it's really bad. I'm sure people who have Twitter, who listen to us, have seen it. There's this meme of, like, Kiki Palmer on, like, Hot Ones. Where she goes, this has a little sweetness to it. And it's like, the caption is, the coconut crabs eating Amelia Earhart.
You watch your mouth. That's disgusting.
Because she was a gay icon. Supposedly. Well, she was.
Queen.
Just like Abe Lincoln.
Has a coconut crab ever attacked a human? They don't usually try to hurt people, but there have been exceptions. That's what Google says.
like sweet ones.
You know how it be. Like Amelia Earhart. How sweet was she? These crabs were like, I'm gonna munch on that girl.
I don't know how factual it was, but it went viral on Twitter. Like, it was bad.
Oh, wait, so in this theory... she was, like, dying, and as soon as she died, she was eaten, or, like, they just attacked her and ate her?
I think so. They're saying that, like,
she was in the process of dying.
Yeah, she was gone, and the coconut crabs ate her, and that's why we don't have a body.
They started eating after she died, or started eating her when she was dying?
I think, like, after she was, like,
okay,
gone.
Good. I was like, can you imagine being partially alive and getting eaten by crabs? Yeah. That's the worst thing ever.
That's one of the things. It went, like, really viral. It's so bad. I don't know how much there is to it, but a lot of people were like, yep, she died by coconut crabs.
I have never heard that, and I'm disturbed.
You've never seen that? That's so crazy.
Thank you for enlightening me. I'm extremely disturbed. What?
Speaking of which, we also have a Twitter now for anyone who wants to follow.
I didn't even know that. Follow us on Twitter. It's the Mystery
Files. The S is with a Z.
Ooh, okay, trendy.
Like the Mystery Files.
Yeah. Yes, follow us, I guess.
Weird plug. I'll find it and retweet it to the page.
Do it.
I will do it.
Ew. You have to wait till we release the episode, though.
You're so right. No spoilers to the 5 people that follow the Twitter account right now.
You post the clip of us discussing it, and then put that on the thread. I don't know how Twitter works. Is that the right phrasing?
That. Yeah, I could do that. As our social media manager, I can absolutely
you can absolutely do that. Good.
Absolutely.
I don't know how that works. Theory number 3, but it's not the crab one.
Darn.
This one is that Earhart's flight was an elaborate scheme to spy on the Japanese who captured her after she crashed. So, like, a lot of these theories just get crazier and crazier, so just bear with the ideas.
Yeah.
Did President Franklin D. Roosevelt enlist Earhart to spy on Japan? If so, the aviator did it in a very roundabout fashion. Earhart's east-to-west route took her from California to South America, across Africa to India, and across the northern tip of Australia, en route to a refueling stop at Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean. According to the official account, at least, Earhart never got anywhere close to Japan. Besides, her flight was hardly a secret mission. Newspapers around the world tracked her progress on their front pages. So the Earhart as spy theory emerged from a 1943 film about Earhart called, quote, The Flight for Freedom, and starring Rosalind Russell, but no evidence supports its veracity. So, like, this mostly just came from that movie that was released. It's kind of fiction.
Was it recent? When was it?
Oh, 1943.
Oh.
But it is weird that it came out in 1943 when she... was this in 1938 that this happened?
Yeah.
I'm like, why would they release it so soon after? They're like, she's dead. They didn't give her any hope.
Yeah,
they just said a couple years after she went missing, we're gonna release this movie and say that she was a spy.
They were probably trying to, like, capitalize on it as much as they could with it.
But, like, have they no heart?
Yeah.
Earhart, if you will.
Do they not have an ear or a heart or an Amelia?
Amelia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think you said this already, but like that's just such a roundabout way to go on to like spying for them. Like there's just so many unnecessary steps. Mm-hmm. It's like, why would you not just do that very differently?
The thing is, I want to know where they got this idea, like for this movie, and why it even became a theory. I mean, but then again, as you and I directly know, it's very easy to make fictional stories about Amelia Earhart because we did that. We made a whole musical. Short film about Amelia Earhart and how she was in heaven.
We've talked about it before on the podcast a little bit.
But we made a whole musical called Earhart's Fortune. It's like a little short.
My favorite clip from that is at the very end where Amelia Earhart shows up and she's the angel and it's you playing her and we have like a dance thing.
Hit it, Jesus. Is that the one?
Yeah, no, hit it, Jesus. And then it cuts you to Amelia Earhart like she's Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
That is the best joke of the entire thing.
Stop.
It is a 10-minute short film and that is the best joke we told in that.
I'll put the clip in this. I'll put a short clip of it.
Please.
I have it.
So funny.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not Amelia Earhart. I'm your guardian angel. It's time for you to cross over. Come on, Ariel. You can come too.
I've always wanted my own crossover special. Hit it, Jesus!
Finally, I can...
Yeah, so that was the clip. Enjoy. Yeah, I have it. I have it. So I definitely am putting this in there.
Please.
But I'm just going to put on that little clip. But please know, after watching that, we were extremely sleep deprived. And we were...
24-hour film festival. Joe Biden became president.
Yeah, he became president that day.
That day while we were writing.
Yeah. Yeah, hot mess. Hot mess. So enjoy what sleep deprivation and COVID times looked like. Yeah. 'Cause that was the height of it.
I might have talked about this before on the podcast. You already know this, but I remember... We were told it could only be 5 minutes long. And it was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I emailed them and I said, hey, is it okay that it's 10 minutes? And he responded and said, no, it has to be like 5. And I said, sorry, no. And then we just turned in the 10-minute one. We still submitted
the 10-minute one.
And then we got it. Like, they still posted it. They accepted it.
Also, I'm going to say one thing. If they're listening, thank you for listening. But also... They told us, because Logan and I were roommates at the time, that we didn't have to wear masks. So keep in mind, we shot most of this without a mask.
Yeah.
And then they were like, never mind, we changed our minds. So we had to refilm.
We had to refilm stuff.
A lot of it.
Even though, we lived together.
Even though we lived together at the time. But they literally decided after. So if you're listening, sorry for being shady, but also that was shady. Respectfully.
Oh my god, you're so right. We had to reshoot so many
things.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is a 24-hour film festival. We had to reshoot it. Fun. And they're singing. There was so much singing. I was so mad.
I rapped. I wrote a verse. My name is Ezra. I'm a big time deal. Please don't judge me because I keep it real.
Something haters don't.
Boy. Wait, it's like. Boys want to see me, girls want to be me. Something.
Oh, I can't even remember the rest of it.
All my followers love and adore my face, looks, my jokes, and heart.
Like Amelia Earhart. I can't remember any of it.
I think that's why, because the next line is like my mission to find out all evidence of like Amelia Earhart.
Were you an angel or a god? Huh? Were you angel?
No, I was just some gay guy.
You were just in heaven with me.
Yeah, no, I died. Yeah, I was some gay intern. That was like the bit we were going with. I was a gay intern who loved Amelia Earhart and thought she was a gay icon. That was the joke.
Why can't the Drag Race stuff be as good at this as we are?
Honestly, I stand by it.
They had the whole heaven situation in the recent one we watched.
We did talk about on the podcast before, the one with Benjamin, because Benjamin was our music producer for that. Yeah. He's also the producer of this podcast.
Shout out to Benjamin, my husband.
So funny.
Nuts. But yeah, check us out. Make sure to, if you want to watch that, let us know. We can release it.
It is on YouTube.
If you really want that.
It is on YouTube under Earhart's Fortune. I can actually put it in the link of the description of this episode, too.
Just don't judge us too much. We were sleep deprived, and it was very...
I loved it. It was fierce.
It was experimental. It was COVID times. That's all you need to know.
I will say, however, the last song... was god-awful.
It was so bad. We lost all will for anything.
We were singing and recording for like almost 24 hours.
It was 5 in the morning and we were so tired. It was 5 in the morning and we were cry.
Finally, I'm free.
The thing is, and then I had to go edit it all morning. And Logan was sleeping on the floor most of the time and then finally woke up when Joe Biden became president and got me coffee. That was our experience.
Gosh.
Anyway, on to theory number 4.
Oh, God.
Let's get into theory number 4. So, this is another, Japanese military one. Earhart landed, was captured by the Japanese military, and died while being held prisoner on the island of Saipan. So, there's some
very Stranger Things, 4 of them.
Yeah, very Stranger Things. So in 2017, investigators announced the discovery of a photo buried in the National Archives for nearly 80 years that may depict Earhart and navigator Fred Noonan days after their disappearance. According to the team led by former executive assistant director of the FBI, Sean Henry, Earhart crash-landed in the Marshall Islands, was captured by the Japanese military, and died while being held prisoner on the island of Saipan. Retired federal agent Les Kinney scoured the archives for records related to Earhart's case, uncovering a photo from the Office of Naval Intelligence that shows a ship towing a barge with an airplane on the back. This is creepy. On a nearby dock are several people. Kinney believes the plane on the barge is the Electra, and the 2 of the people on the dock are Earhart and Noonan. So the Marshall Islands / Saipan theory of Earhart's fate isn't a new one. It first surfaced back in the 1960s, and relies on accounts of Marshall Islanders who supposedly saw the Electra aircraft land and witnessed Earhart and Noonan in Japanese custody. So in 2015, Kinney and another amateur Earhart sleuth, Dick Spink, followed 2 metal fragments on Mealy Atoll in the Marshalls, which they believed came from Earhart's plane. So this one's kind of actually interesting. I didn't realize the depths of this theory.
I was about to boot it because I was like, there's no way other people didn't see them if they actually crash landed on those islands.
Yeah.
Even if the military tried to cover it up and had to think citizens or somebody would have seen it. It would have been in news articles and things or just whatever. So just knowing that there's eyewitness accounts and things makes me feel better about that
also,
one. That one's
photos,
not bad.
That one's very interesting. I literally never heard that, but that's nuts. There's people who have seen it. There's photo evidence of things scary. That kind of match the time that happened. Weird. Very weird. Good to keep in mind. I feel like that's one of my top theories as of right now, considering there's only 4 so far.
For factual ones, yeah. For sure. That's
definitely,
a good one.
The crab one's definitely number 1.
No,
so far. Oh my
Crabs
God.
are my favorite.
So, theory number 5. Earhart survived a Pacific Ocean plane crash, was secretly repatriated to New Jersey, and lived out her life under an assumed name. So this is basically faked her death, plane crash type thing, secretly lived in New Jersey and lived out her life under an assumed name. So, I don't really know why. So, a 1970 book put forth a creative solution to the Earhart mystery. The author claimed the famous pilot survived a Pacific Ocean plane crash, was taken prisoner by the Japanese. So, this is another one of those, I suppose. At the end of World War II, U.S. forces perpetually found her in Japan and secretly, repatriated her. I don't know what that means. Repatriated? Do you know what that is? I'm looking
I don't know the word, but I'm assuming it means that they took her and tried to get her out of the country incognito style.
Yeah, you're so good at words.
I
send someone back to their country. You are really good at words today. Okay, historian.
I'm so smart.
You are very smart.
And pretty and funny.
Secretly sent her. Okay. Funny, sweet, kind, yada, yada, yada.
You're lying again.
Lying.
I can see it in
your eyes are getting bigger. Watch your filthy mouth. So at the end of World War II, U.S. forces found her in Japan and secretly sent her back to New Jersey. So there, Earhart took the name Irene Bolam and became a banker. I feel like I've heard part of this, that her name was Irene or something about this.
I heard that too.
Became a banker. When the real Bolam got wind of the book's claims, she vigorously denied being Earhart and sued the author and publisher for $1.5 million.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a lot of money, girl.
Yeah, that's a...
Yeah. The lawsuit was later withdrawn, though Bolam may have settled out of court. So numerous experts who investigated Bolam's life and compared her photos to Earhart's agree that Bolam, who died in 1982, was not the missing aviator. So, some people still kind of believe this, even though, obviously...
Even though it got debunked, basically.
Even though it's debunked, there's still people who are like, yeah, I think that was true. I'm like,
yeah, that one's such a stretch, going from, Japan, getting her through, and then, to New Jersey, and just all that stuff. And there's so many other reasons to sue. It's just defamation of a person who's just not Amelia Earhart.
Yeah. But also, what are you suing for, girl? Let people kind of believe it. It's kind of fun. Stir the pot a little. What bad is
Become a social media influencer.
Become an influencer back then in 1982. So, on to theory number 6. Earhart survived and somehow made her way to Guadalcanal. In 1943, during World War II, several Allied airmen reported seeing Earhart working as a nurse on Guadalcanal. The person they saw probably was Meryl Farland, a nurse from New Zealand, who was said to resemble the lost pilot. According to the 1977 book called Lonely Vigil, Coast Watchers of the Solomon Islands, Farland caused something of a stir on Guadalcanal, where she was the only woman among legions of troops awaiting transport. The rumor of her true identity may have been triggered by the hallucinations of soldiers suffering from malaria and other diseases. So some people think it was just, like, these people hallucinating and, like...
I mean, I could see that because, like, what was this, 1943?
1943.
I just, that's like 5 years after she went missing, and she probably became, like, a pop culture, like, historian, like, just, like, phenomenon. Like, it's a name that probably comes up a lot, like, the same way, you know, maybe not exactly the same, but, like, you know, like, I could be tripping on, like, some type of drug right now, and I could say I saw Marilyn Monroe walking down the street. No, I did not. But, like, Marilyn Monroe's, like, pop, you know, like, just that imagery, especially in that time frame.
I feel like it definitely is creepy, though, and that, like, all these people hallucinating her as the same person, because I'm not really sure how, like, hallucinogenic drugs would work, but I feel like it would be strange that they all I feel like we talked about this before, too. Like, everyone having a shared hallucination wouldn't be very likely unless they, like, convinced each other to try to see the same
it's a little hard to do that. I think that's when we talked about, that was when we did the Stranger Things case.
The Montauk.
Yeah, the Montauk Project. Yeah.
I feel like it's the same idea.
Yeah, it's just a little hard to believe. I just,
Unless it was actually her and people were trying to be like, oh, those people with all the malaria and the hallucinogenic diseases.
Yeah.
Unless it might have just looked like her. I feel like maybe all the women kind of look the same this time.
I think I just don't I don't know if there's any more of them.
Oh, like, that's just that one. There's a couple more left. But
just, with that, like, I just don't know if I like the theories that are kind of just like, oh yeah, she just kind of dropped casually somewhere in like Japan, and all these people saw her. I was like, I feel like there'd just be such more of like a phenomenon of like that happening, or we would have known more.
I feel like it also depends where it is, because I feel like that's a big part of, like, as far as U.S. history, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart is like a huge thing. But maybe around the world, people wouldn't have realized how big of a celebrity she is. But, like, I feel like it still would have been a big thing because she was the first woman to, like, travel this far by plane, like, as an aviator. So it's surprising she wouldn't be as big there.
However, at the same time, they didn't have, like, the internet yet either. So it's possible, like, Buzz
maybe she wasn't the first.
Buzz didn't, like, crossfire, like, the same way. Yeah. So there might be that, like, you know, they could see someone be like, I don't know who this is. It's like
they wouldn't know her face. I feel like it'd be very hard to know her face unless somehow they were very connected in the media. I have no idea.
Right.
But that's that theory. And then we're on to theory 7. So we're getting close to the wire of end of theory. So try to keep in mind your favorite ones so far.
Coconut crabs.
Coconut crabs. So theory 7, it's not coconut crabs, just so you know. It is Earhart crashed on New Britain Island. So another crash right here. So New Britain Island rests at the eastern edge of the Papua New Guinea, roughly along the flight path Earhart took on the final few legs of her round-the-world flight. Might she have crashed there? In 1943, an Australian Army corporal on patrol in the island's jungle claimed to have found an aircraft engine bearing a Pratt & Whitney serial number. Earhart's plane had a Pratt & Whitney engine, but so did many planes in the area before and during World War II. It's unlikely that Earhart, who maintained in radio transmissions that she was running out of gas near Howland Island, would have had enough fuel left to fly to New Britain, some 2,000 miles away. So that's all that theory is. But I feel like, who's to say? Because what if she didn't know where she was? Because they were having all these navigation issues, like, basically the entire time she was, like, getting through this lengthy trip.
She might have known where she was, but she might have not, like, fully known.
Yeah, or maybe she just didn't know where she was, because her navigation was messed up this whole time. Her navigation with, like, where she was supposed to be going was off.
Yeah.
Radio communication was not good.
We established the plane was, like, kind of jank at that point.
It's kind of jank. Yeah, like, so, you never know. She could have landed here. There's not much to this theory after that, but, like, it's definitely one of the theories.
Right.
Not as strong in my humble opinion. Now on to theory 8. Earhart was captured by the Japanese and became Tokyo Rose. A lot of these are very specific to Japan. I'm curious as to why.
Well, Japan's like going that way.
It's right there. I'm not good at geography, so that could be why I don't understand.
So it's like California. Wait, you can't. So like California is here. You go this way, Hawaii, where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
I'm looking at a map.
Wait, no, they
That's
didn't.
It.
Wait, okay, no, yeah. Wait. Sorry. So it's Hawaii's here, and then you go some more, Japan.
Okay.
It's right there. So it's like kind of like, it's really, really far stretch, but it is. But I'm confused because I thought, I confused myself because wasn't she on the clear other side of like the country? Like, didn't she go from...
Well, she was coming back. Wasn't she going around?
Wasn't she like, didn't they like land in like Miami though, and then they took off again? Because that's going more towards like Puerto Rico and stuff, right? Because that's where the Bermuda Triangle is, on like that coast.
I think so. I don't know.
So I don't know how they're like saying she got there. That is
she messed up real bad.
Like, are they saying she like went just like, it's so confusing.
I don't know geography.
Yeah.
You know,
we have a mystery podcast where we're trying to like solve things, and we're like
bad at
geography.
Listen, I feel
not
like
scientists, not historians.
Just this. I feel like the best way I can describe it is how some people can't picture images in their head. But some people, like if you were to say picture a red apple, they cannot. They can't make a red apple. I can do that in my head.
Yeah.
But I feel like when someone explains to me like where a state or like a country or anything like that is, or like, hey, go west on I-86, my brain goes, what is that? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I feel like I'm like, like I can be like, sure, this is Pennsylvania, Iowa's over there, but that's about as close as I can get.
Yeah.
California, Florida, I don't know.
That's it for you.
Yeah, that's all for me. So I guess they're saying that she was captured by the Japanese and became someone called Tokyo Rose.
Who's Tokyo Rose?
So, related to other World War II era myths to the place, Earhart and various Pacific theater locals, including Saipan and Guadalcanal, the story originated immediately after the end of the war. A rumor circulated that Earhart had spread Japanese propaganda over the radio as one of the many women collectively referred to as, quote, Tokyo Rose. Her husband, George Putnam, actively investigated this lead at the time, listening to hours of recorded broadcasts, but he did not recognize his wife's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you would know, right? Like, you would know that, right? Like, that it was, like, your wife. And, I don't know, just, there's so many, it's cool, but I don't see, like, why would she not want to, like, try to, like, get out? Like, if she has access to, like, broadcasting and, like, things, like... I know there's no cell phones, but, like...
I'm looking up what Tokyo Rose actually is, in terms... I don't know a ton of this history, so I think a lot of it's actually going over my head.
It just seems so interesting to me. I'm surprised so many of them are, like, deep-rooted in Japan. It makes me wonder if, like... Also, this is so interesting because we're like staying geographically in Japan.
Yeah,
the last 3 episodes now, which is kind of cool.
We kind of love Japan.
Kind of cool.
So this is saying Tokyo Rose was a name given by Allied troops in the South Pacific during World War II to all female English-speaking radio broadcasters of Japanese propaganda. Programs were broadcast in all these places. Allied forces abroad and their families at home, emphasizing troops' wartime difficulties and military losses. So that's kind of more as to what that was, but yeah, he didn't hear her voice.
She's a citizen though? Is she a prisoner? Like,
I feel like it's saying she would have been captured by Japan
and then like forced to be a Tokyo Rose.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was necessarily forced. It was probably like a thing that she may. I don't know. I have no idea what exactly they're saying, but definitely trapped and taken prisoner, captured by Japan.
There's just so many like. The questions that come with that theory, and I just feel like the more questions you have is like kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like after like the last theory, I might look up the last legs of her trip again, just so I can like clear my mind to understand where she was again. Yeah. Just so I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. So,
that girl went everywhere.
She be traveling though.
You know, gay people, they love to travel.
Miss Earhart, she's queen. Earhart loves queens. So theory number 9, Earhart was captured by the Japanese and traveled to Amiro Island. So another capture, but this time traveling to a different island. So Amiro Island off Papua New Guinea seems like an unlikely place to find Earhart because it's far from the spot where her last radio transmissions occurred. Still, a U.S. Navy crew member in World War II told of being sent to the island and spotted a photo of Earhart tacked up in the hut of a local man. The photo showed Earhart standing with a Japanese military officer, a missionary, and a young boy. The sailor Taylor alerted naval intelligence officers who allegedly took the photo from the hut against the owner's wishes. The photo had never been found. Since Amaru Island has been a haven for Europeans stranded after a shipwreck in 1940, it's still likely the photo contained a look-alike and not the real Amelia.
Yeah.
That is kind of weird that there was, like, someone that looked exactly like her, though.
Yeah.
In this random hut.
I mean, I don't know. Like, at the same time, though, like, is it possible there's a lot of people that kind of look like her? Like...
Maybe. I feel like... But also, someone who flew a plane, she has a very specific style. What she would have been wearing would have been very specific, at least.
Yeah, but do you think she would be wearing, like, those same clothes all the time, though? See,
While flying.
See, I watched a YouTube video on this before. This is, like, so, like, interesting. But, like, it was basically a video talking about how, why kids from the 80s that are our age look so old to us.
Yeah.
And it's because of, like, the way they, like, dressed and, like, their haircuts and their things. Like, they were still, like, that young, but to them, they looked like us. So it's possible someone might see pictures of outfits we're wearing now, like, 50 years from now, and think we look really old. Like, it's very possible.
That idea does freak me out. Because I feel like you definitely look back at, like, yearbooks and you're like, wow, those kids look 30.
Yeah, well, you have to think about, like, those, like, trends and, like, things like that, too. And that's why I'm bringing up with the Amelia Earhart thing.
Like, her hair and stuff would look very...
Yeah, like, there's certain haircuts that are, like, very popular. Like, you know, there's going to be a bunch of people who, have, like, mullets. Like me, like, right now, like, 20 years from now, there's going to be a lot of pictures of, like, guys with mullets.
Yeah.
So it's, like... her haircut, her face shape, like, there's just so many things.
I feel like especially back then, because there was definitely a uniform style. I feel like today, there's a pretty broad range of style
I was
among
gonna
people.
say, I think it's a little more variety than there was back then, though. But again, we have, like, the internet now.
Yeah.
And more individuality.
Oh, there's definitely a lot more. So it makes sense that we would all look a little bit different. Like, obviously there's trends, but back then it was very much like...
You just go to the barbershop or the salon and there's, like, one specific type of cut.
Yeah.
And that's, like, what everyone was kind of wearing.
Like,
or,
that's
like, what you saw in a magazine. Like, you don't get anything outside of that.
Yeah. Which is, it definitely makes sense that they all were to look alike then, but...
Yeah.
Her face,
I mean, I have a look-alike from what I'm told, like, in Pittsburgh. Like, I've been told multiple times. They've been like, hey, were you at this place today? And I'm like, no.
I want to meet this look-alike.
I mean, maybe it's my doppelganger.
Oh my gosh. It's like How I Met Your Mother. They have doppelgangers.
Aww.
Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
No.
Well, okay.
No, and I think I'm okay not.
I feel like
I'm alright.
I think it used to be better. I feel like I probably wouldn't like it as much
I like How I Met Your Mother with Hilary Duff.
I Met Your Father.
Yeah, that one.
I was like, you don't make no sense.
Well, I was thinking about how Hilary Duff is mother.
She's...
Just like Amelia Earhart.
She is mother. Let's look at... I'm going to double check the route that she was taking.
Do we have one more theory after this?
Oh, that was the last theory, and then there's an update. But I want to double check the last leg of her journey.
Number 9 is, like, that one, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
The lookalike was the theory number 9. I'm trying to look at where the last thing was.
Just look up, like, Amelia Earhart spot map. Maybe that would work.
Amelia Earhart.
Spot.
Last journey map.
Wow.
Let's look. So yeah, she was somewhere between Japan and Australia. I already forgot the name of it. She was between there. But, so if that makes any sense to you guys, she could have ended up in all these places. So don't disregard most of these theories.
I feel like everyone probably Googled it while we were trying to figure out and figured it out, like, almost immediately. And it took us,
they're like, you guys are dumb. The thing is, you try to look at a map and understand it when you're me.
Right.
My brain, it's like dyslexia, but dumb. Listen, I think I have math dyslexia, though, whatever that's called, the number one.
Oh, really?
Like, genuinely. I think
Genuinely.
Because I remember in math class, one time I was so embarrassed because when I was looking at the number 5, I said F, like, confidently, and then my teacher was like, Tiffany, what are you talking about? Are you okay? And I couldn't get the number 5 to come out of my mouth. And I still look at numbers, and I'm like, what the heck am I looking at? So that's why I suck at math.
I go a long roundabout way to get to an answer with math. They go, how'd you get there? And then they're like, that is not the right way to get there. And I'm like, oh.
But you're like, I still did it. Some people, like, somehow get the answer. And I'm like, okay, you did you, right? You got there. But yeah, that's how we got to Miss Amelia Earhart's final place.
Great. Yeah, so she just, like, wrapped around, was already, like, coming back.
She was wrapping around. But We have one last update before you want to make your decisions. So this update was actually from December 2nd, 2022. So literally the day before I got married, there was an update posted about some Amelia Earhart stuff. She was at your wedding. She was actually there, Miss Oldie. She was there. She was elderly and flying in. So a new piece of evidence has been uncovered that could shed some light on the mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance. So forensic scientists have discovered letters and numbers etched on an aluminum panel found on a remote island near where Earhart's plane went missing. The panel was found on Nicomararo Island in 1991. Oh. So this is like the second theory it talked about when we initially brought it up.
Yeah,
this is from that same island.
Yeah.
So in 1991, but until now, scientists had never discovered the hidden marks. So the markings D24, XRO, and either 335 or 385 could indicate the panel was fitted as part of a repair. That's because the corroded piece of metal has been rivet punctured similar to Earhart's Lockheed Electra plane, but isn't a precise match to that. The scientists think the markings could relate to manufacturing codes and are working to try and trace their origins. So they said, quote, "We found what looks like stamped or paintings marked that could be from the original manufacturer," said Keenan Unlu, director of the Radiation Science and Engineering Center at Penn State. So, hey,
Pennsylvania rep, let's go.
Rock on. So if Unlu and his team are able to confirm that plate is part of the aviator's plane, it would put to rest some of the more outlandish conspiracy theories, such as Earhart surviving and returning to the U.S. under a false name.
Get him.
So, drag him. Get that theory.
Drag him down.
Drag him down. So D24 and 335, or maybe 385, we don't know what they mean, but they are the first new information from this panel that have been examined by various experts with different scientific techniques for over 30 years, Dr. Unlu had said. It would also give weight to the theory the famous pilot did indeed make it to Nicomararo and died there. Yeah. This theory became popular when human bones were found on the island in 1940. The bones were lost before, and they've been tested. Stop it, Logan. If you're going to say that she was eaten by the crabs on this island...
No, yeah, you're about to say it. It's in there, probably.
I will see. The bones were lost before they could be tested, definitely, so we will never know if they belong to her. So it didn't say what happened after.
She got ate by the coconut crabs. She got
eaten by the crabs. But I want to show you this picture. We can put it in the edit later so they can see as well. But this is like the markings they had found on the plane.
I can't see any of that. I don't have my glasses on. I see a 3, though.
It's just like the XRO. It's like the little stuff on the panel.
XRO, XJ9. My life as a teenage robot.
My life as a teenage robot. So yeah, those are the theories. That's the information that's up to date as of now. What do you believe happened? And if you say the crabs, I might lose my mind. Have more information besides the crabs. The crabs can be your final...
What island was it? Nakamararo,
I think.
Nakamararo?
I don't know if I'm saying that right. It sounds pretty, though.
Say it again for me.
Nakamararo. Nakamararo.
Say it again.
I'm probably saying it wrong. They're going to think I'm dumb. Nicomararo. That sounds about right.
Say it again.
Nicomararo.
Nicomararo.
Nicomararo. Nicomararo.
Nicomararo.
Just a little island where she went missing, and the crabs ate her in her
No, I was going to sing. I was going to be like, Amelia crashed onto the island, and then died peacefully after a while. And then the coconut crabs came out of nowhere.
And they
ate her down to the bone.
To the bone.
To the bone.
They ate Amelia's flesh and she died.
That's a lot. That was a lot. See, I was trying to be a little more tasteful. You went far.
Listen, they know what happened. What do you think? How does she just have bones? You know what happened to the flesh. You said they ate her.
No, I think because of that
update
you were...
I think that TikTok. Scrum yum yum.
No.
No, you definitely have.
I've not.
It goes scrum diddle yum yum purr purr.
I've not seen that once.
You haven't? You're joking.
No, I'm not.
You're on the messed up side of TikTok. You haven't screamed scrum diddle yum yum purr
No,
purr.
I'm on the good side of TikTok.
No, you are not. The messed up videos you're sending me constantly. You're not on the right side.
That you never respond to.
I like them. I go through my stage where I like all of them and then I respond to the ones that are real whack.
Great. Love that.
Love that. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, anyway, going back to, like, that, the theory, like, the update, I think that's how the coconut crabs thing started, because, like, they, like, I think they're, like, popular on that island or something, and that's how, like, the meme was kind of, like, going through. I think the meme was back in, like, November, December, so it might have been around
December
the same...
December 2nd, 2022.
Time frame, so...
Okay.
Yeah, honestly... I think the last one is really strong, but I think just in general, if she was such a proficient pilot, like the way they like saying she is, I do think it's very possible she was able to crash or land and survive on like an island until like it was just too late kind of thing, you know?
Do you think the guy died? Her navigator guy?
See, it's possible because depending on like if they crashed on impact, there is a chance she survived and he didn't. Or maybe like he went too. There's a lot of possibilities with that also. Yeah. Like a lot of casualties because again, going back to like the beginning when I was talking about like Yellow Jackets a little bit, I don't want to spoil anything.
No spoils.
But you know, the cast is only like, it's not really a spoiler, but it's like the cast is only so many people and you get made acquainted with who's there. And then like 20 people get on the plane and it's like kind of like other people go on it too. So it's like very possible. It's like a game of like that like chance that you take sometimes. Like there's just casualties you can't help happening. I don't know. I like the idea of like they found like the freckle cream and stuff and like things like that. Like that intrigues me. That like she may have been able to survive for like a little while longer. While being there. So
I feel like I definitely agree with the last theory that she was on this island and like passed away. Maybe the crabs ate her, I don't know. But I do think that theory holds up pretty well. And then I'm interested by both of the theories that we talked about of her, like, being spotted places. Like, what was the first one?
I don't think the barge one is that hard to believe. Like, the one where she's, like, with him. Like, on, like, the boat or something like that. Like, they...
Oh, I'm trying to think about
that was, like, Theory 3, I think.
Theory 3.
Something like that.
There was one specific one. I'm going to look up the title of it. It was one of the islands that she was living on. Let me look back. Not the Tokyo Rose one.
No, I don't like that one. Tokyo Rose is my least favorite, I think, actually.
That one I don't think worked as well.
I like the first one, too. I know it's, like, the most simple and logical, but I think it is interesting, the idea if it crashed into the water, there would be no way they could, like, recover it, like, as quickly. So I do think that one's pretty good. Yeah. Like, it's definitely the most boring one, but, like... it's definitely possible.
I think, like, the ones where they had, like, evidence of her in photos. Wild. And just ones that it looked a little too much like her. They have all this different evidence. Like, people said they saw her. Like, that makes sense to me. So I feel like either one of those theories, even though, like, she could have just looked like Amelia Earhart, but I want to believe, like, maybe she was alive. In this universe, she lived. Like, I think that's really cool. And I'm actually
constantly serves,
surprised none of these theories even brought the Bermuda Triangle thing. So, like, that's also still one we could choose for favorites, but I'm going to say it's either one of, like, the ones where she was spotted, like, somehow she just, like, existed on the island and lived there and, like, as a prisoner. Yeah. Or, like, this last theory that she ended up dying and crashing on this island. Because I do have a lot of different things that make sense for that. So, that's my final take. How'd you feel about the episode? Were you excited we finally got to talk about Miss Amelia Earhart after all these years?
Oh, so good. Yeah, I loved it. This was a really good episode. I liked getting to hear more about the theories and get kind of a refresher on it because we talked about her so often. So it's kind of cool to go into it more. Yes. Yeah.
Alrighty. So in conclusion, there are many theories about what may have happened to the great pilot Amelia Earhart. But this exciting update from December 2022 gives me hope that some true answers may come to light more soon. But until then, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart will forever remain a mystery. Yeah. Alrighty, folks. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a fun time. Good theories. Got to talk about a lot of stuff. This is going to be a fun episode to come back and see the bits. I'm very excited to see.
Yes, it's been a hoot and a half. I'm so excited we got to do it, and I love the chaos. I'm glad the lights didn't go out. I'm glad we had a fun time.
I'm glad the storm calmed.
It's calmed.
So, thank you, Amelia.
Thanks, Amelia. So be sure to check us out on all the social media channels. Check out our new Twitter, Mystery Files.
Mystery Files with a Z for the S.
Yes, check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the Instagram at the Mystery Files _. Check that Linktree. We got everything there. We've got our Redbubble shop. check us out everywhere. That YouTube, check us out there. We're making those videos for you guys. So we love you so much. We're
posting more TikToks too on the Mystery Files podcast. Don't go to the Mystery Files. It's some 12-year-old kid that posts cryptic videos, and he has 12,000 followers. And yes, I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, follow us because we're cool.
Yeah.
Please.
So we're going to be posting more little clips from there too if you would like to go over there. We've seen all your love there. So please follow us at the Mystery Files podcast as well on TikTok.
Alrighty. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next week with Logan's case. We love you. And goodbye. Bye.